Hello, hello. Welcome into another episode of the Whiskey Crusaders. I'm Will.
And I'm Matt.
Today we're here with Tahwahkaro here at Grapevine, a distillery in northern Texas in between Dallas and Fort Worth, talking with their makers and what they have going on. Gentlemen?
Yeah, good to be with you all. It's been fun showing you around the distillery and showing you the process to make our bourbon. And yeah, we really appreciate it.
Yeah.
As you can see, we're a grain glass company. So corn, we're a 4-grain bourbon. So we use, instead of just a standard poundage on rye, we split it with wheat. So we use an equal 11% wheat and rye, corn at 65, and then malt at 13. We like a good high malt mix.
Yeah.
We use it more of a flavor almost than the standard enzyme to convert over to sugar. But yeah, 4-grain bourbon.
Okay, and then what does Tahwahkaro mean?
Tahwahkaro is an indigenous name for the area that became Grapevine, Texas. It's a Caddo word that literally translates to mean bend in the river, and they are referring to Grapevine Creek, which historically was known as Tahwahkaro Creek. There was a peace treaty brokered here by Sam Houston representing the Republic of Texas and the 10 tribes. And I think it was 2 years later, the Republic of Texas became one of the states of the United States.
Awesome.
But that all happened kind of right here in the backyard. Yeah.
Okay, very cool.
So what do we got in the glass in front of us today, gentlemen?
Yeah, we've got our bourbon, barrel proof, straight from the barrel, actually right before the Whiskey Fest. And then we also have our rye malt whiskey, which is that's
the rye
one.
Yeah.
So why did you guys choose 4 grains? Just to wander over the usual standard 3 most distilleries use.
It was really just a decision of Chris's brother Jason likes a really good smooth, a wheated bourbon or a Scotch, and I know a lot of consumers do as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I like a rye. Yeah, I mean, and knowing that he represents consumers out there, that we basically were like, let's do a 4-grain bourbon, and so we took the rye malt or the rye mix and split it in half. Now, in our bourbon, we do include the rye malt that makes the predominant grain of our rye malt. We include that in our bourbon as well. So 50 pounds of our
So
rye.
you're using both malted and unmalted rye?
Yes, yes. And we do the same in our rye malt as
Yeah.
well.
It's both, okay.
Yeah. But cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers, man.
I really, really enjoy the high proof on that. I'm sure it's quite lovely when you proofed it down as well, but
Yes.
I appreciate that you've left that at the high proof for me.
Yes.
I really, really do.
Yeah. We will be releasing a
barrel
cask strength, barrel strength come fall as well. We're just now getting the labels finished up for the rye malt,
Yeah.
but yes, we're going to be working on a cask strength label as well.
Yeah.
It's a big proof. Like I was explaining to you guys, we barrel at 125, but it is a smooth 125,
Yeah.
at least we believe, and
This one is.
it's very
Yeah,
sippable.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, 125.
It's big and it's loud and it wants your attention, but it's not angry or aggressive about it once it gets your attention.
Yeah.
It's got a really nice complex nose on it.
It does. I didn't want to get too much into it and actually go through a tasting.
Oh no, but it smells so good.
But it does smell so good.
Got a lot of nice vanillas and caramels, but it's also got that heavy, deep Texas corn. You can smell it on there.
Well, after the summer really hits us hard here,
Yeah.
wait until these barrels, these lower number barrels go through another heat session.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Nice, that awesome
our
Texas
warehouse
whiskey.
consistently hits about 120 to 125 on near the roof up there.
Mhm. Oh,
So
wow.
It's yeah, it's.
Have y'all spent any time rotating, or are you planning on?
Chris did a few months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we put all the big barrels up there, our big rye.
I saw that.
Our big 53s.
Yeah.
Our last bottling session
Think
actually.
you'll be able to handle the heat?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Are the 53s part of the newer barrels that y'all have gotten in, or is that still part of the?
Well,
Because I know we saw multiple different sizes in your warehouse.
Yeah, we basically, when we first started the distillery, barrel 1 was a 30.
Yeah.
Okay.
That barrel order that I put in was 25 30s and 25 53s. So the second we filled all the 30s first.
Yeah.
Went in to get product age, you know,
Sure.
a little bit faster for, you know, a small batch company like us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But barrel 25 through
Gotta make
barrel
business decisions.
through 50, barrel 25 through 50 are 53s.
Okay.
So our next,
Okay.
we're entering that bottling session. Our next bottling session will be predominant 53s. And when we pulled the current bottling that we did for batch 2 and 3 in our bottle right now has 2 53s and 8 30s.
Okay.
Those 2 53s, when we pulled it, all of us went and scrambled to get bottles as that barrel was empty because it was really good, and we actually liked the complexity of what it's offering as well. 30-gallon barrels, as my brother puts it really well, really offers a big, bold, what we call chewier, just thicker.
Thicker mouthfeel.
Yes,
Yeah.
everything's
More
bold
viscous,
and
more
thick.
like a syrup.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that 53 has a very similar color and age, but it was a slightly cleaner, or not cleaner, just more subtle flavor. Similar, very similar flavors, just a little bit cleaner in your mouth. It didn't feel as chewy.
Uh-huh.
And so we really like, you know, talking with Kelvin Cooperage, like I did in Louisville recently, we're more than likely going to transition over the next 6 to 9 months right back into 53s.
Okay.
But it's going to take us time. I mean, we still need, you know, or want to have a little bit smaller barrel just to keep, you know, get us transitioned back into bigger
Sure.
production.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 53s in this Texas heat work really well, surprisingly.
How did your evaporation rate, much less than the 53s and in the 30s, or about the same so far?
I think about the same.
About the same.
Yeah. I think you notice it more in the 53s than you do the 30s.
'Cause
I
you're
mean,
using
sorry,
more
the
of it.
30s and the 53s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're like, whoa, there's a lot out of this barrel right
Okay.
now.
Yeah, you definitely lose more in Texas
Mhm.
than, you know, states where traditionally bourbon comes from. Yeah, I think I've heard some distillers in Texas talk about it as, you know, like 20% loss at times.
We heard a distiller down in Austin talking about like 70%
Yeah,
loss on
they
some of
lost
their
some
stuff.
of their early stuff.
Really?
On some of
Ouch.
the early stuff. But I'm assuming we play a lot of that into roles of bad cooperage.
Yeah.
And making poor decisions sometimes.
And constantly sampling it.
I don't know, that might have a role.
Yeah, I think we
in
have
that.
one barrel in particular out there that might be lower than it should be.
Yeah.
Just because it constantly gets sampled?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about that rye.
One of them probably the one you're about to sample.
Is
Yeah.
that
This
rye?
one.
This is the
I can
first.
imagine so, because it's the first rye
This
that
is
y'all
the
are
first rye.
creating.
It's
Yeah.
the barrel 12 is the first rye malt that we did, and actually in 2018 is when that one was distilled. So it was the 12th barrel in 2018 that we distilled, and yeah, it's a good old one. 1 year, 2 months right now, and then the rest of the barrels we have are at a year or
So
less.
it's had 2 summers in the barrel now.
It's had 2 summers.
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
the rye, so it's,
Yeah.
are y'all gonna leave it in for a third? Y'all
Yep.
talking
Yeah,
fall?
this
Yep.
yeah, we're not
Go
releasing
through
until
one
fall.
more.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll leave it until the last second we can, obviously.
Yeah, can I explain a rye malt? Because most people have never had a rye malt. It's such a unique whiskey.
Yeah, well, we can't call it single malt.
Okay.
It's not just a single grain / single grain. So our rye malt, it's complex. It has 65% or about 650 pounds of malted rye. So Tex Malt actually malts a rye for us, Texas sourced malted rye. And then we also add a certain poundage of rye berry or just raw rye.
Okay.
Then we add 50 pounds of corn
Okay.
and 50 pounds of wheat. It's an
Oh,
interesting combo.
interesting.
We want to, those smaller percentages and poundages are really to give a little bit of the corn sweetness
Yeah.
and complexity, and then also that smooth sweetness of the wheat. And then we finish it off with that 25 pounds of German malt as well for flavor. But again, the German malt's the only one that's not Texas at this point.
German malt, you're saying the malted barley?
Yes.
So y'all are still adding that even though you have the
Yes.
malted rye?
Yes.
Does the malted rye produce the same sort of enzymes that would
Yes.
kick off fermentation?
Yes. It's
in the
already,
same way?
it's already produced.
So again, we're
essentially.
just adding in
Yes.
the malt because we like the malt and we want that flavor kind of?
Yes.
Yep.
Awesome.
Actually, we don't run any 6-row, well, we don't run any 6-row malted barley in our malt, or rye malt. Whereas we run 6-row in our bourbon. We like
Yeah.
the 6-row for a little more enzyme reaction. And then we also just like the flavor of it. But yeah, cheers.
Yeah, the rye is quite good.
I get a lot of dark fruit.
I do too.
Maybe a dark cherry.
I feel like it's transitioning from the dill to the mint, and another summer might just,
Yeah, it's got all the nice
Bring it
dark
over that
toasted
hump.
chocolates in it too.
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
really nice.
Yeah, the ferment, when you actually mash it, before you throw yeast in, it just has this like, I don't know, like really comfy porridge with chocolate mixed in.
Nice.
It's got a,
Sounds
like
tasty.
a ripe red apple smell when, just the mash.
Yeah,
Um,
it's beautiful. It smells really good. I get a roasted toffee. I call it roasted toffee as
Yeah.
well.
Then you guys use the charla before on both of them?
Mhm.
Okay.
So we'll probably release this not a cast strength.
no, I wouldn't assume so.
Probably go down to about we'll stay over 100.
No,
But,
awesome.
yeah, we'll probably go down to about 105 to 107. We're playing around with that.
Yeah.
And it's very smooth at those proofs, even more smooth than.
Why are we laughing about 105 to 107?
I
Is
mean,
there a
I-
disagreement
I-
about 105 to 107, or are
Sounds
we-
good to me.
No, I'm being unreasonable. I want the cast strength.
Okay.
It's too low for you.
Yeah.
It's just too low.
You know,
Unnecessary watering.
But we don't make enough of it. It would be.
Yeah, yeah.
It would be
It'd be
tough.
gone way
It'd
too
be tough to
quickly.
have out there. Yeah.
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 Yeah, the more you sip bourbon in these, the more
The
you
more
sip
you crave
straight
those-
from the barrel.
Yeah,
the more
you
you're
don't
like,
want it, yeah.
But I mean, there are things that you guys know there are things that really help change the flavor when you proof it down.
Oh, absolutely.
Sometimes for the better.
And sometimes, even when it's been proofed down, a little bit of water can change it
Yeah.
or not. So, yeah, it's always nice to be able to play around with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We tell people, if they ask, well, how do you recommend I sip your whiskey? I say, well, neat is our preferred way, but if you like ice, if you like it watered a little bit, put some ice in, and as you're sipping your whiskey, when it really tastes right, like you get to that point where you're like, oh man, pull that ice out.
Yeah,
And so
that's the temperature, that's the ice level, that's
Yeah.
where you need to be. Take
Yeah.
it, dump it into a new glass.
Our
and
standard
remove
bourbon's
that
at
ice.
96, and so we like, you can't go up in proof,
No,
Yeah.
but you can always go down a little bit.
Yeah.
Sure.
And yeah, pull the ice out when you.
I like that tip.
When you feel like it's right.
I like that tip quite a bit.
Yeah, I've never actually heard anybody say that. It's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
If you leave the ice in, it just keeps.
Yeah, it
getting
keeps
more
going
watery.
down,
Yeah.
for sure.
And you're like, I need. it
Right,
just
and now
doesn't
you
taste
need
good.
another one,
Yeah.
as opposed to.
Yeah.
So
if you just
hydrated.
took it.
So hydrated.
Someone's watering my system, I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself. Yeah, if y'all just wanna walk us through the milling process and what y'all do in the morning?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, the first part of the process starts here in this room, and this is our where our mill is, our hammer mill. We start with the grains that we source locally, and we mill them to 3/16 with this hammer mill over here. We auger them into a big tote, and then we use the forklift to take it over to the mash tun. For our bourbon mash, it's approximately 800-pound mash bill. It all starts here.
So here's one of the corn, wheat, and rye bags. So again, we milled about 3/16 on those three grains, and about 800 pounds. Well, it's 800 pounds in each of these bags, and then we add malts. 125 pounds of malt, at a certain time in the mash process. We also have 2 or 3 different types of whiskey coming out later. We're going to have a red and blue corn bourbon coming out next spring. And then sooner than that, this fall, we're going to have a rye malt whiskey, Texas rye malt whiskey, which is malted rye as a predominant grain, 65% malted rye. And it is amazing. We really love it. And but that'll be coming out this fall, around that September, October time as well, which you guys will get to taste while you're here. Yeah, but that's a different bag. This is actually rye berry, our mash bill on that rye berry, and a little bit of wheat. Well, we use raw rye in that mash bill as well. But yeah,
What is rye berry? What does that mean?
just raw rye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just raw rye. The rye malt, by the way, is sourced all but 25 pounds of the 925 pounds comes out of Texas. So that's a cool one, yeah. Or I mean, that's as much Texas as we can get. And then when Tex Malt works on that 25-pound malt for us that we really like to use, we'll get it all Texas at that point.
In 2008, there was a Hershey's chocolate factory decommissioned in Oakdale, California. As a matter of fact, they decommissioned Hershey, Pennsylvania, and Oakdale. They moved all the production to Mexico, outside of Monterey, I believe. And these kettles that they've been cooking milk in, they were condensing milk in them. They built them in '61 by Arthur Harris, which at that time was one of the largest coppersmiths in the U.S. He built I believe he built the Hiram Walker facility in Peoria, Illinois, which became the largest distillery in the U.S. at that time after Prohibition. So these were built by Arthur Harris. They no longer were going to use them. They were changing their process from what we understand. So these are quarter-inch copper kettles that now Vendome is going to, they're taking 2 at a time, and they're reworking them to be whiskey stills. And they weigh about a ton a piece. We had just one of those unique opportunities. We knew they were out there. We worked out a deal with them, and we went out there and got them. And so they're back here. We have 7 of them total. They're 400 gallons apiece, so that will up our production capability quite a bit. And starting, I believe, sometime 6 weeks from now, we get the first 2 back, which we can show you some photos of what those are looking like.
Wow.
They're beautiful, and they're unique. It's hard. I don't know if it's even possible right now to get quarter-inch copper in the world. Also, these hemispherical ends that you see, like even the steam jacket on these is copper, which is like, why would you do that? It's too expensive to do that now. But the hemispherical top and bottom of these are, I don't think anybody actually manufactures those in the world at the moment. So they're quite unique. And there'll be 7 of them ultimately online and at top. These are candy coaters. So if you think about something like an M&M has that candy shell on it, this is the device that you would use to do that. These were out of the same facility, and we wanted them for using to take the bell of this and create light fixtures over our new kettles. So we're really excited about those, and they were built around the same time. I think maybe even earlier. I'm going to say 50s to 60s, but they'll be beautiful.
Yeah, so this is our 400-gallon still. Basically, any alcohol coming off our mash is getting copper only. We run 4 plates right now in straight over condenser. We do have vodka columns as well. This current time, we don't really have a plan to release that, but you never know. Yeah, mainly focusing on the whiskey that we feel like we do the best job at. So
You still have a name?
Distill? Yeah, the Buffalo.
The Buffalo? Why is it called the Buffalo?
It's rare.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know. I like that answer the best.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, again, we just went 4 plates. Okay. We scrubbed pretty good off those 4 plates. The Arthur Harris still went 6.
That's the same plate, okay.
Yeah, so we'll scrub a tiny bit more.
Okay.
One unique thing that is different is that we don't do a stripping run.
You don't do a stripping run,
We
okay.
do not do a stripping run. So we do a single distillation run in all of our bourbon.
Wow,
Yep.
okay, awesome.
Yep. We like the flavor. We like keeping that complexity, the personality to the bourbon, letting those grains really, really talk, not just throwing it back in the still and then cleaning it up even more. We really want our mash bill to speak. And I think when you taste our bourbon, it does have a different flavor than traditional bourbon.
That's a good thing, because we're in Texas.
Yes, that's right.
It's supposed to be that way.
Yes. Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about the bottle?
Yeah.
The style itself is very unique, and
Sure.
it's nice. It takes up a good presence on the shelf, which is always a good thing for a
Yeah,
corporation.
definitely.
Why did y'all choose it?
We did. We looked at a lot of different bottle shapes and designs, and one of the things that we noticed is bottles are typically skinny and tall, and so we started thinking about what do we do to not get lost in that group of bottles on the shelf. We're hunters, we like outdoors, we like to camp. And so we started thinking about an old style camp canteen. And that was like a eureka moment. It's like, well, let's.
Our name means water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Our
Really
name
bends
does
in the river. And
Our name refers to water.
And the distillery after a bend in the river?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, it's very cool.
So
And,
why not make the
Absolutely.
bottle like a canteen?
And then, we had kind of agreed on this phenomenon where you're at the bar and you're looking across the bar and trying to figure out, it's like, I don't recognize that one, but I can't read what it is.
Yeah.
And so,
Or I know that bottle shape.
our full name is Tahwahkaro.
Yeah.
But, we wanted to clearly put on there Ta, like, so someone could read, you can read without your readers on across the bar and
Yeah.
discern what this is, along with the shape. We're the only bottle shaped like this. This is our own mold. So
Oh, awesome.
we didn't choose something off a shelf somewhere. We had this mold made, and so it's a unique shape. We're the only one that has it, and then our name is clearly legible. That was like solved several of our like pet peeves.
All with one decision.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in,
I like it.
in the fall, coming out, like, holiday time, basically October, November, we're trying to pull it off, but we want to include satchel wraps. So
Oh,
like
that'd be awesome.
Canteen satchel with leather
There you
strap.
go. Very
It'd be
cool.
for gifts and
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yep.
branded in different styles.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Texas
Yeah.
flag needs to
Love
be
it.
in there, and
Yeah.
I was actually going to try to give you that idea off camera here in just a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, we have some mock-ups of that, like some cool colors, some serape type designs as well. So we're playing with that.
And eventually Camp Cup. to
There you
with it
go.
Too.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, that'll take a while to do the Camp Cup. But yeah, Camp Cup, you can sit, you can throw it over your shoulder on the strap or over the or strap it to the saddle
Yeah.
or to your backpack or whatever, and or just give it as a gift.
So how many just different styles did you look at prior to picking that? Or is that just, you saw it and you picked
30.
it? 30?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Every catalog of
Every
multiple
catalog.
suppliers.
Yeah.
But
Try to find the
no.
right thing.
Yeah, water, and I mean, we're a grain glass distillery. So we knew starting that you have time. We have to have time
Yeah,
to wait. We're
that's
not
a good
gonna- we're
point.
not
That's
gonna source
true.
whiskey. So for us to wait, 6 or 8 months or 9 months to get a bottle custom made,
Yeah.
seemed to fall right in line with us.
Gonna have to
waiting
wait on the whiskey to get done anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure,
Yeah,
might
it's
as
a matter-
well. Pick the right one.
Yeah, we're not
Doesn't
sourcing.
matter how long we're gonna wait on the bottles. Whiskey's not done.
That's right.
And you guys hand dip wax everything here.
Yep,
as
that's
well.
all
Hand label.
Hand label.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much hand label. There's this little.
There's a tear strip that's applied before
Okay.
you dip it in the wax. That's done by hand, and then these are dipped in wax, and then you have to hold them there for a while for them to dry so that they don't run.
Can't have the drippy.
You can't have
No drip.
Can't have
No
the
drips.
So yeah, that's all done. It's all done here. Very cool.
Gentlemen, thank you very, very
Thank you
much.
guys very much.
It was really wonderful chatting with
Awesome.
you today.
Awesome.
Look
As well.
forward to seeing some wonderful growth from the company and drinking some great juice from you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you guys
nice
very
having
much.
you.
Cheers. Thanks for joining us today.